Okay, so we're out. Good boy. This evening, we're going to be combining his leash walking behaviors with the collar of the beep vibrate, while we're also adding the consequence of the static if he pulls past a certain point threshold. But the goal here is to reward him for refocusing. We'll probably go anywhere from 3 to 5 times. And we just want to keep the leash nice and loose. If he does start pulling, then it will automatically beep first, and then depending on the pound of force, it will then vibrate, and then he is still pulling or is pulling past a certain point, then it will start to static. We have it on the lowest setting for that as well. Okay. And this just goes by the concept of making sure that we continue to positively reinforce his good behaviors, like focusing, healing next to us, but at the same time now having a consistent consequence or correction in place for when he does not listen to his mom and starts pulling and following his nose too much, right? Added in the bungee as well for him, so that way he has a little bit of extra leeway there. Good boy. And all we're doing is we're just counting 1, hi, how you doing? 2, 3, good boy. And he's doing really good here, right? Because there's actually another dog that's going by there. He did well in redirecting all on his own without pulling or triggering any of the consequences, which is really good. And then he actually volunteered his attention to us too, which was amazing. Okay? He still sees the dog, but he's doing a really good job of redirecting back this way. And I have yet to, good boy, apply any leash pressure. This is also good for the parents because we want to keep that same mentality of having the leash nice and loose instead of just always having to constantly drag him around. If we need to, we can guide him with some force, but we shouldn't always be exerting excessive force just to get him to follow us, right? Like he's kind of just doing it now all on his own. I have no treats in my hand, just the camera and the controller. Good boy. 2. And I'll just count to 5. 3. We're in pretty much a nice close heel. 4. 5. Boy. Because I kind of want to continue rewarding him while we're moving. There we go. Yes, good boy. 1. This is the only time where having a harness may be a good idea because it'll make it so the leash doesn't slip down between his feet so much. And we might showcase that on the next video with Leave It. But with, good boy, with the harness kind of sitting on the D-ring in the back, it doesn't slip down between his legs so much. Good boy. 3. 4. Good boy. And 5. Good boy. So I went almost a full block there without any kind of tension on the lead. Good boy. 1. And especially when now we have a consequence as well, we want to remind him to, good boy, and positively reinforce when he's doing really well. So that way the whole experience isn't just negative for him. 3, boy. 4, and just sitting here waiting at the crosswalk with him. Good boy. 5. Nobody's coming. All right, let's go. Good boy. 6. Go ahead and give him an extra one there. Once you get used to or surpass like the 5 to 10 mark for having to count for a reward, that's pretty much whenever you can just do it sporadically, right? He's voluntarily giving us his focus on a very regular and consistent basis, which is really good because then that helps to prevent him from getting too far ahead and, running out of leash and pulling. Right? Good boy. 2. He's doing well there. Good boy. He's doing a much better job of redirecting his focus to us after pups, which is really good. It's why sessions at the dog park, or at least an area where there's going to be dogs, the pet store as well, can really come in handy. Gets him the practice that he needs to redirect back to you and refocus even. Trying to get this untangled here. Yeah, I'd probably, hold on, bud, wait. Right, because I don't want him to get away from me and pull just because I'm trying to fix his leash there. I just gave him a sharp pressure on the back end so that way it doesn't activate the collar on my end. Boy. Good boy. I'm just going to go ahead and do another block around. I'm trying to hold the controller pretty close up to me so that way if he does start pulling too hard, you'll hear the beep. Oh, I think it's a magic 8-ball. Oh, careful. I'm going to fix the camera real quick. There we go. The good part about this is that with consistent walking and having it on and him redirecting every so often, and then on hard pulls when he gets distracted, it'll beep and then he'll have to redirect then. It'll help with him conditioning to be completely off of the leash and then just hearing and responding to the beep and coming back to us, just like we worked on yesterday. Now I'm treating this very much so like a freedom walk, and I'm giving him the opportunities to just not to stop and smell as he would like, just because I really want there to be only leash pressure when he's pulling, usually because of his nose or because of something that he's interested in. I'll give him some slight directional leash pressure when necessary for guidance. I really want him to be the one, like right here, doing the tugging. There you go. Yeah, empty, bud. Good boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good boy. And you don't have to count. You don't have to count as well each time he redirects focus on you. Depending on your neighborhood, you can also reward him for walking nicely after, a certain block or a certain landmarks or a certain time. If you want to do like total concentrated time of focus, maybe like 20 seconds or 30 seconds, you could do that as well, which is good for when he's maintaining focus for a while longer. That will make it so he gets rewarded sooner. And as opposed to just these quicker check-ins, like 1, right? If he maintained focus, we'd still be counting up to the higher number. There, good boy. Started pulling too hard because I didn't want him to continue going into the person's home. And he either felt the leash pressure and responded, or felt the leash pressure and then heard the tone and then responded. But the good part is, for consistency's sake, both of those things are happening now in conjuncture. And his parents won't have to do anything extra. Depending on the situation, having it on an automatic mode like this can be really helpful for people. The way they don't have to worry about an extra remote or being sure to press things on time. And this ties in really well with the rest of our lesson and training, in which case, if he's not pulling, he's not getting corrected. He's still allowed to smell, and if you want, we can have him even on a tighter heel, but he's only being corrected and only getting leash pressure when he starts pulling because he's getting too far ahead or he's moving too quickly outside of our range. Good boy. So here, we'll go through that time example. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Boy. Right? So he gets rewarded for total time of attention spent. So here, good boy. He wanted to go back to smell, but he hit the line and activated enough pressure that it beeped. He came back, which is really good. I'm going to go ahead and lead him back to it so that way he can explore it and mark it if he'd like. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for him to become conditioned to recognizing the leash pressure, and as opposed to just pulling straight through the leash pressure, turning back and waiting for us or asking for permission, and then we guide him to whatever was interesting. Good boy. He's not allowed to be in the children's playground area, so we're just going to use the leash as a boundary. There you go. Continue walking back this way anyways. Gonna do some gentle leash pressure there because of the foliage. Can't tell what he's trying to get into. And here, we can still use his name too, or see if he stops with us. If he goes forward too quickly, it'll automatically activate the leash pressure. Sage. Good boy. Good boy. All right, let's go. Doing really well so far on his walk, especially when we're here. It's gonna start pulling. He's got the beep, he's got a vibrate. There we go. So we can't tell what's over there in the grass that's getting his attention. We'll go ahead and trigger the leash pressure. You can also say his name, and we'll go over the leave it exercises, but because we're working on him recognizing leash pressure and dealing with the consequences of ignoring it, that's when we just use the leash pressure there to pull him through it. And it worked out well. You can hear it when it does go off. Hopefully. It's pretty windy out, but he's just been doing some beep, and in that instance there, it added in the vibration. It's enough to help him really pull through some of those stronger distractions. But I feel like if another dog is barking at him and is really close, then we might need something even more. There we go, good boy. That was just good off of the beep. I'm still gonna reward him for stopping to pull and redirecting back to me. So we still want to just encourage this good positive behavior and avoid having to make any corrections. Good boy. So now I'm just going to swap to either sporadic treating or treating when he redirects his focus at good opportune moments or to the beep or vibrate. So here he's following his nose, starting to trigger the beep. Now it's going to start to trigger, there you go, the vibrate. Stops. Good boy, come. Yeah. And if he pulls too hard in again, you'll see. Good boy. Now that he's not pulling deeper into their yard, I'll just hold here. Good boy. Good. Right. So now, you said we want him to have consequences because we've given him every opportunity to understand what we want from him, like the loose leash walking and then redirecting his focus whenever there is tension on the leash and we want him to stop pulling. And so now with some pups in particular, they need to have some sort of external consequence after that just to help give extra weight to doing the right thing as opposed to doing the wrong thing. Sometimes the pups hopefully don't need those corrections, but the threat of the correction really sometimes helps to add additional value to actually just doing the right thing to avoid being corrected as well. Good boy. And he said in the neighborhood, he usually does pretty well at this point anyways. And that's where, trying to untangle his legs. Come here, big guy. So that's where, come. Good boy. So that's where it's good to start these new consequences and everything for him. All right, whereas we'll practice another 1 or 2 times today on it. Make sure that he knows what will happen if he does start to pull too hard. And then we'll go back to more distracting environments again, like the shopping center or at the park, and then work with him there. We really do want to give Sage here every opportunity, good boy, good listen, every opportunity for success, as opposed to making things really difficult for him and then having to constantly correct him so that way he, learns what to do. He should already learn what we would want and be practiced before being tested, just like any other situation, right? You get the source material, you get additional guidance from those that should be teaching you. You go through any problems that you may have or misunderstandings, and then you practice, and you practice, and you practice, and then you're tested. Good boy. Doing really good, big guy. I know. Good boy. Yes, good boy. So you can see there, not only is he focused on me, but he's waiting to see which way that I'm gonna go across the street, right? He doesn't even need the leash pressure for guidance at that point because he's paying attention. And he's paying attention mostly because he wants to. He's been rewarded for it, not just because he has to. It will be good to have that external reinforcement in on the negative side for more exciting situations, right? But we shouldn't need those things all the time. Good boy. Good job, big guy. We'll go ahead and do a little bit more of a warm-up here. Back in the court area. And then we'll give him a break. We'll work with Miss Duchess, and then we'll do it all over again. So we always start off easy, and then we make it harder and harder until he fails. And we figure out why he fails, and then we try to set him up again for success. Okay. So here, good part about this is that it's still connected to the collar. It's just now going from automatic when there's pull tension to a manual mode. So now I can still give him the same commands just like we did with the long lead yesterday. So he gets rewarded for following us and maintaining focus. Good boy, with me. Good boy. Right? Rewarded for refocus. Good boy. He gets a little too far. Oh, I didn't even get to beep yet, but good boy. Gets a little too far, and we can give him those reminders without the leash tension. We'll do it again here. Yes, good boy. The wind is picking up, so we have some debris here that's also doing a good job of distracting him. I'm keeping an eye to make sure there are no cars coming too. It's pretty quiet time right now, and we're back in our most practiced area, which is the court, where we've practiced all the drills and all the warm-ups, especially in the early mornings, and then right again before bedtime. Good boy. So he's starting to drift a little far. He's coming back in. Good boy. He's getting a little distracted with all the traffic there. Good boy. But he came back on his own. Go ahead and reward that. Good boy. Good boy. We'll let him go ahead and explore a bit. Cool. Now I'm going to call him back. Or he's just going to come back. Didn't even get to use anything. So, still nothing. Just all focus. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, you got it? Here you go. Good boy. Oh, good job, big guy. So we'll go ahead and pause the video here. Probably leash him back up. Maybe give him a water break. And then we'll do another round. Good boy.